Hi Geminis, welcome to Universal Guidance. This is your weekly reading. I've shuffled these cards very well. I'm going to shuffle them a few more times. This is a two-part reading. The overall energy of this reading will be in the middle of the first part of the reading. So Geminis, let's get started. Let's find out what you can expect coming up in your life. The end of some pain. You got new beginnings. Okay. So the overall energy of this reading is the Ten of Swords. The end. The end of pain. And it usually comes from truth and clarity with swords. So that's great. Now let's see what happens. But this surrounds the whole reading. So it's like, this is like a major step to be coming to the end of the pain, okay? Associated with something that happened in your life. Up here in your highest energy is the Judgment card. It has been a spiritual lesson. You've gotten through it. This is in your highest energy. This is your guardian angels and spirit guides blowing their horn down on you, trying to get you to realize something, to get you to awaken, to get you to learn some type of spiritual lesson. I think you've learned it because the pain is going away. Spiritual lessons usually come with pain. They're hard to learn. And it's like we learn lessons every single day of our life. There is some sort of lesson that we can learn. But a spiritual lesson is something that the universe really needs you to learn that you've been having trouble learning. And so that's why it's usually associated with pain, because it's a hard thing to get through. It's something maybe you've been blocking. So you're doing it. You're getting through it. And then that brings in the Ace of Wands. Fresh starts, new beginnings, blooming, blossoming. You're on your way. You are moving forward. I have the Two of Wands right next to the Ace of Wands, hanging on to that staff of fresh starts and new beginnings with one hand and holding the world with the other hand, which is a new life cycle. So you're ready. You're ready, so ready for this new beginning. So you're contemplating on how you are going to go about it. What is it going to look like? What path should you take? You know, under the Judgment card is a Chariot. The card for Cancer. Cancer might be strong in your chart, might be strong in somebody else's chart around this reading. But you're moving forward from the Judgment. So you've learned it. You're moving forward from the pain. You've got done with it. You understand it. You're ready to move forward. On the other side of the Ten of Swords here is the Fool. Now, this is what you've healed over. This Fool energy. I think that you were throwing caution to the wind in probably relationships. That you were probably just dancing along with your head in the clouds. Enjoying every moment. It is a fun card. Living in the moment. But the thing is you were looking up and you weren't looking forward. So usually the Fool finds themselves at the edge of a cliff, and that's where the pain comes in. When you fall off the cliff. There could have been a tower moment. There could have been anything could have happened. But you've recovered. You're putting an end to that. You learned your lesson about looking forward. Don't just bounce along in a relationship looking up in the clouds, Look forward. Look ahead of yourself. So you're ready. You're ready for this change with this new education that you've found for yourself through this Judgment. Under the Chariot is the Knight of Wands. This is the energy of, flying in and out of somebody's life. Now, I think you have let people fly in and out of your life because it was fun. You may have been the one flying in and out of other people's lives. And that might have blown up on you. But the Knight of Wands, male or female, it's usually about passion. And it's usually just about, it's kind of a selfish behavior. It's usually regard totally for them. Okay? Without regard for the other person. And that can be very well part of this Fool energy here. But you're moving forward from it. You're kind of leaving it behind. It's like you're going to be you're going to look forward, and you're going to be more grounded than this Knight of Wands. You've healed. So like I said, from that, you got the Ten of Swords here. You've definitely healed. This is the card for Aquarius. Aquarius is might be in your chart, might be in somebody else's chart around this reading. Very spiritual. This is seeing your own reflection bounce back at you, reminding you of who you are, the essence to your bare bones of who you are. That's deep. That is such deep healing. But you're done. You're done doing it. The pain. So the healing causes this pain to go away from other actions that were around your life or in your life. And so Gemini, right next to the Star card here, I have the Queen of Wands, and there you are. So you heal. And now you're the Queen of Wands. You're not the Knight of Wands anymore, and you don't have the Knight of Wands around your energy either way. But you have a staff of fresh starts and new beginnings. It's a staff of passion. You're a passionate person. You have a love of gardens and animals, but you're ready to move forward. Let's take out the next part of this reading. You're ready to move forward, but you've learned your lesson. You learned your spiritual lesson about looking forward, not up in the clouds in a relationship. Readings don't usually go past 6 months out. If they do, it just wasn't your reading. If it doesn't sound like your reading so far, it's not your reading, and I would check your moon sign. That is your emotional side, so that's why I recommend the moon sign if doesn't sound like your reading. If it does, it probably is your reading. Oh, Gemini, and there you are right there as an air sign. We also have Aquarius as an air sign. Okay, up here on your highest energy line is the Queen of Swords. This is seeking truth now and seeking clarity. This is being on guard, protecting your heart, protecting your well-being with that sword being a male or female. This is Aries. This is Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. And this is your reading, so I'm calling it Gemini because it's up here in your highest energy. And it looks like you will be seeking truth and clarity. It's your hand is out, and it's right towards this Three of Pentacles. So you're going to try to make sure, okay, that things aren't going to fall apart again, that you're going to be able to see eye to eye on certain subjects that really matter to you. You want to make sure there's nobody else in their life. This in and out energy, if this was someone else, they could have had somebody else in their life, because a lot of times, probably 10% of the time, they have somebody else, and that's why they run in and out of your life. So you're going to be seeking truth and clarity from whoever comes next in your life. I have the Knight of Cups here. Now this is a sincere love offer, up here in your highest energy, and it's coming in. That cup has lots of room for love, male or female. So this Knight of Wands, when it comes in, you are going to ask the questions to make sure that this is a sustainable relationship. So under the Queen of Swords is the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, you've been alone, been left out in the cold. That Knight of Wands, I'm thinking that was someone else, probably ran out of your life for the last time, and you felt left out in the cold, and you do it every single time they run out of your life. This is a church window. It's very spiritual. You can come in out of the cold. So, but it's a card of loneliness, a card of abandonment. That's why you need to ask your questions. This is all part of your spiritual lesson, and just being the fool, this is where you found yourself, alone and down in the dumps, And so I have the Empress right next to the Five of Pentacles and under the Three of Pentacles. This is the card for Libra or Taurus. So one of those might be strong in your chart someplace. So, or in somebody else's chart. But this card is to remind you of who you are. And this is who you remembered. All this healing that you've done, you remember who you are, male or female. The Empress. If you're a parent, you're a very good parent. You are loving and kind and supportive and giving and generous. You are understanding. I could go on and on. You have so many beautiful qualities as a person. Now, all these questions that you're going to be asking here as the Queen of Swords, as Gemini, is you're going to figure out if they have a lot of those same qualities as you, because they're going to have to. If they don't, it will not work, and you will find yourself right back at the Five of Pentacles, and you don't want that. So, remember who you are, and you did. You healed right down to your bare bones. You remember who you are, and seek somebody who has some of those same qualities. The Empress is right next to the Queen of Cups. So when this offer comes in, this Knight of Cups, the Queen of Cups is about water. So that's Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. Might be, now here's Cancer here. So that's 2 for Cancer. Might be strong in your chart someplace or in somebody else's chart around this reading. But here you are. You're trying to evaluate this love offer. You're taking a really hard look at it. But you know, it's not only the Queen of Swords asking all those questions. It's all these questions about love. You're trying to figure out if this is really a sincere love offer. If it is what it seems to be. So, it's the only cup in the deck that has a lid on it. There's little windows all the way around that lid. And inside that cup are answers to love questions. And what the Queen is doing here is trying to get the get the answers to her love questions. So, next to the Empress, you're protecting yourself. You're moving forward cautiously. Wonderful. This is lesson learned. So under the Five of Pentacles is the Ace of Swords. Truth and clarity. Next to the Queen of Wands, yeah, you're ready for a fresh start and a new beginning. And you do have a lot of passion that you would love to share with the right person. So this conversation through truth and clarity is what's going to save you from being in that Five of Pentacles energy once again. It's right next to the Three of Swords. Remember I said that a lot of times the Knight of Wands has somebody else? Well, the Three of Swords can signify a third party that was hurtful, very hurtful. And that's probably what you were recovering from. Could have been. Either way, it was a broken heart right under the Empress. But you got yourself back. And you're going to, use those swords now for your advantage. You have the Seven of Wands right next to the Three of Swords. Yeah, you're blocking. You are going to block, do everything you can to prevent this Three of Swords from entering your life again. You're going to block anybody who does not, who does not have the same ideals that you do, the same morals, the same qualities that you carry as a person, at least some of the same qualities. You're going to block them. You're paying close attention to who comes in, and there is an offer coming in. And it's sincere, but just because it's sincere doesn't mean it's going to work out. So you're doing your job. You learned your spiritual lesson. You're going to ask the questions before just jumping into something as a fool does. It's fun, but it doesn't usually last. It usually ends up in pain. So I am going to pull out one more card for you, Gemini. Oh, the Two of Cups. Now, the Two of Cups is about friendship, love, and soulmates. Whoever's coming in, you might already know them. They might already be a friend of yours that you might already know, already has love for you, or someone new that will become a best friend, soulmate, and lover. This card goes right here. So that's what you're waiting for. You're ready to move forward. You have a new life cycle in your hands. When the right person comes along, you're going to figure it out by seeking the truth and the clarity. I think this is a soulmate coming in, and I think they're going to turn out to be a wonderful friend, and they're going to have real love for you, and they're going to treat you that way. So Geminis, this was your reading, and thank you for watching Universal Guidance.